Hello and welcome to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists.
Brett.
Neti.
Where are we?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Neti. We're at the opening night of Rabbit Hole at Theater Palisades in Pacific Palisades, California.
Beautiful Pacific Palisades, California. And we have two amazingly wonderful performers with us here who are starting the opening of the show today. Well, all of them are here with us today.
We have all 5 actors from the show.
We've got Laura and Lauren.
We do. We have Lauren Dykes and Lara Doucette. Lara is playing Becca and Lauren is playing Izzy. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you. So are you guys excited about opening night or what?
Yeah, we are. We've got the butterflies going on a little bit. We've got the butterflies, but, we're excited, and I think we're ready. We're ready to have an audience, and opening is a new beginning.
This is a piece of important theater for you guys. Why? Is that a tough one?
This is when I auditioned for this. The last thing that happened was Tony asked, "Why do you want to do this play?" And I have a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. And when I read this play, it just made me appreciate them so much. And I told him, I said, this is the corniest thing you're going to hear, but I have to tell you, this is why I want to do this play, because it just made me love my family so much and appreciate them.
Well, it's a Pulitzer Prize winner. I could see how it could do that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of people, I think, may have a misconception of the play that if they know a little bit about it, they think it's going to automatically be a downer, and that may make people think, I don't know if I want to see that tonight. But this show is actually about hope and survival and the joy of living and the joy of family. So that's really what we want the audiences to come out and see, and I think that our show really captures that well.
Well, you're lucky to be working with a very talented director who definitely has a way of making stories that could go into sadness into stories of positivity and where you can see a silver lining in that sadness.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all very lucky to be working with Tony.
And what drew you to Theater Palisades? How did you guys, was it just an audition that you saw, or was it something that you heard about from a friend? How did you come to be at the audition?
I did a show here like 7 years ago, and I actually auditioned because it was close to my house. And then I fell in love with the theater because the people here are amazing. And so then I came back 6 years later.
I actually moved out to Los Angeles in May. From Arizona, and this was the first audition I had in Los Angeles, and it was the play that really brought me here. The Izzy, I love that character, and so it was just fortunate that I auditioned and I got it, and very happy to be here. As you can tell, the scenery is amazing. It's great to come here every day.
Absolutely. And this was your first audition in Los Angeles?
Yeah, so it's only downhill from here.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Once again, we're here at Theater Palisades at the opening night of Rabbit Hole, playing August 26th through October 2nd. Over 100 people came to audition for this part, and these are the 5 that got the roles. We're going to be talking to some of the rest of them when we come back on La La Land with Brett and Nett on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
We're here at the opening night of Rabbit Hole at Theater Palisades in Pacific Palisades, California.
Beautiful Palisades, California.
For information on Rabbit Hole, you can go to theaterpalisades.com, or you can give the box office call at 310-454-1970, and we're here talking
To we have the cast of 5 here now. The remainder of the 3, correct? Please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, it's us.
My goodness, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
And so, okay, please go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about.
Hello, my name is Catherine Lyden, and I'm playing Nat, the mother role.
Okay.
And my name is Michael Conoscenti, and I played Jason.
And my name is Samuel C. Huntington. I'm playing Howie, who's the husband in the play.
Oh, I didn't see who I was.
Excellent, guys. Okay, I'll just go from left to right. I'll start with you, Samuel. What's your favorite thing about working on Rabbit Hole? It's a highly dramatic piece and a Pulitzer Prize winner. You got to have something that drew you to the role?
Well, I think the thing that's really rewarding about working on a play like this is that it tests you. It certainly tested me. It frightened me. And, that's what I want as an actor. I want to be scared straight. And, this has given me a lot to stand up to and a lot to stand up for. And it's been a battle, and, I wouldn't really have it any other way.
A battle?
Well, you have to, after you get the part, that's where it starts. And you got to win the role, You do that for yourself.
Yeah.
And how about for you, Michael? What do you really like about working on Rabbit Hole?
Well, as you mentioned, it is the Pulitzer Prize winner in 2007, and it really is just like a great work, a great play. As many points as there are like sad moments, and there are moments of laughter, and he's also a really funny author. But for me, playing the role of Jason, it's pretty interesting because I'm the only character outside of the family, and I'm kind of, I guess, the catalyst for the devastation that kind of occurred. And it's fun to get to walk into that house every day and kind of get the reaction from the other actors. So, yeah.
Catherine Lyden?
Hi, I love the role of Nat. I've been a friend of this play for several years, and I wanted very much to play her because she's such a wonderful, rich character. Also, luckily, she's kind of the comic relief. Because the play, not that it's heavy, not that it's depressing, it's not. It's just a wonderfully written play about real people going through a terrible situation. But to play Nat is just a fulfillment of a dream, because she's just such a rich, varied character, and I'm very grateful to be playing her.
Wonderful. Do you feel like there are a lot of similarities with you two? Because you're kind of a jokester, huh?
Unfortunately, yeah. There'll be times when I'll just go, oh my gosh, that's a Nat thing. And so which is good. And I try and be funny and try and be light and hide my sensitivity, blah, blah, blah. So no, there are similarities, and that's both a strength and a weakness, but I use it as a strength.
Even though Tony at auditions asked how old I was because he wanted to make sure I had a driver's license and could drive to rehearsals. So I actually am 22, but it's kind of fun to get back to that mindset and really get into the circumstances.
That's going to be great when you're 40. You're going to be auditioning for the 25-year-old part.
And what about you, Sam? What's important about doing this piece right now in history?
I think a lot of people are looking for hope and redemption.
Yeah.
This obviously, this is a challenging time for a lot of folks these days. And, sometimes we need to find inspiration where it is. And, I think that people will come and see this play and walk away feeling like they've learned something. And I know that I'm a humanist. When I go to the theater, I want to have an experience. And if we do our job right, we'll be giving people an experience.
And how about the two of you? What do you want to have the audience walk away with from this show? Because it's a highly dramatic piece, and it could go a lot of different ways. What would you like the audience to take from it?
Well, following up with Sam, yes, hope, but to know that you're going to get through it. And however bad it is, you will make it through to the other side, just one step at a time, a tear at a time, and a laugh at a time, and you'll get where you're going, where you need to be.
And for you, Michael?
Yeah, just kind of also the feeling of you're not alone, because I know a lot of people in my life that have dealt with tragedy, and I've kind of seen them rise through it, and I'm sure everyone has. So this play is really pertinent, I think, to anyone who comes and sees it, because everyone either knows or has felt that tragedy and the struggles from that these characters are going through.
Definitely. And something kind of interesting that I was curious about the show, what is Rabbit Hole? What's the significance of that?
All right. Basically, a rabbit hole is essentially a portal to a parallel dimension, a parallel universe. And that kind of comes into play can I say? Okay. In a story that Jason, my character, writes, he talks about these parallel universes and kind of the way that he can find hope in his own life is through these parallel universes, and that there is another dimension, another version of him and his family where it's kind of all gone right, and everything's gone according to plan, basically.
Very cool.
Have you ever done that in your life? I mean, was this a challenge?
Oh, I'm a frequent jumper into the rabbit holes. No, unfortunately not.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept if you think about it in general. Yeah. Gotta be.
Star Trek uses it too.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess
right?
that's
There's
true.
The whole wormhole.
And Samuel, what about your history as an actor? You've been acting a long time. Is this something that is pretty new to you, or?
Well, yeah, I've been acting longer than I'd like to admit. There's that old saying: some people act, they love to act, and I live to act, I think. And I was in denial about that for a long time, but I guess I had to kind of lose my love for a certain period of time for me to realize just what a blessing I have.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Go downstairs, break a leg, have a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
Absolutely.
luck. Yes. Everybody come see the show. It's amazing. Rabbit Hole. We're so excited to see it tonight.
At Theater Palisades. For information, theaterpalisades.com. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Ned on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin.
We're here at the opening night of Rabbit Hole at Theater Palisades in Pacific Palisades, California. The show is running from tonight through October 2nd. It's a great show, and we are here with the director, Mr. Tony Torrisi. Thanks for joining us, Tony.
It is my pleasure, Brett. Really, this is nice. We're outside of the theater. It's a nice environment. The people are starting to come in. Hey, we should do this every night of the show.
Tony, the director, is here. Let me explain to you. Dressed in a sleek black suit. He's a very sleek, black, calm, cool, and collected man. And this is his opening night. This is his baby.
He's a sleek black man?
Did I say that? No, I believe that he's a New Yorker of multi-ethnicities.
Yes, I'm Italian.
He's a lover of everybody and a person of everybody, right?
He is.
I'm not excited. The excitement comes from, if you ask me, am I excited about this? I've done a lot of shows, and I go way back. And every show has its own, obviously, personality. With every, the acts are different, the shows are different. And you just ask me, and other people say, "Are you excited?" And yeah, I'm a little excited, but I'm more kind of, it's more of a concern. I want my actors are my children in a way, if I may say that, and I want them to do well. And so I'm kind of nervous for them, and I'm so excited when we finally get the lights up and they do well. That's about it.
Yeah, you seem to be so interactive with your cast. I feel like you want to be with them. You want to be with them right now backstage.
Yeah, from the time we cast, which was 6-7 weeks ago, to tonight. It's been a 6-week rehearsal period, and then we do 6 weekends here. It's almost like a life cycle. When you cast actors, you bring them in, they're born, and then you do have a personal connection with them as a director and them. And during those 6 weeks, you learn a lot about them, and you can't help but get emotionally involved as far as that goes, connecting to them, because they're trying so hard, and they blood, sweat, and tears these actors put out, learning lines, learning blocking, me giving them direction. And this play is not Neil Simon. This play is not a farce. This play is not a musical. And we had to really balance the show, because from what you heard earlier from my actors, is that it is a heavy subject matter. But the balance had to come because we didn't want the audience at intermission leaving and slitting their wrists, and that's not it. It's like you said, it's not about death. It's about life, and it's about living, and about the resiliency of human beings and a family, and how they get through this situation with humor, but the grief is there with it.
Is that what drew you to the piece? Is that why you wanted to direct it?
Yeah, it was not only, if I was an actor, I would have been there, because it's an actor's, how do you say it? It's an actor's piece. You really have to go to the lower levels of the subtext, or using buzzwords of so forth, to understand these characters, just to understand what they're going through. As a director, you have to understand all concepts of every actor. And know what each one is, because they look to you constantly and saying, am I getting it, or can you where am I going here, or, what am I doing? And there's the challenge in itself.
Yeah, and this is coming from a man who just took the directing award theater at the Palisades Theater last year. So he's been around the block a couple times. This isn't your first rodeo. Plus, you also come from an actor's standpoint, don't you? So you really...
Yeah. My background is acting, so yeah, I come from acting first, so I know from an actor's point of view what they're going through. I've done it enough. So as a director, I think anyone who wants to become a director should become an actor first and then become a director, rather than the opposite. Because they can't throw any bull at you because you're there, So, and I think that concept alone, me being an actor, it makes me, I want to say, a better director, but I understand them better because I know what they're going through. So yeah, so it was fun acting, but it's also a great, because you, as a director, you have control, and it's your vision kind of thing. As an actor, you come in and do your part and meld with the others, but as a director, you have the whole concept, the whole vision of the whole play.
So it's almost like a big emotional investment, as well as... Yes,
it drains you. It drains you every night, because you go home thinking about it. You lay awake thinking, well, what did I miss something, or during rehearsal, or can I come up with...
Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's the lovely Neti Leddel.
And that's Brett Chapin here at Pacific Palisades, the Theater Palisades. We are
here in Pacific Palisades, California. For information on Theater Palisades, visit theaterpalisades.com.
That's right. No, I was about to say we are at the opening of Rabbit Hole. It's a story of survival and hope, and we're sitting here talking to...
And it runs actually from tonight through October 2nd. We're sitting here talking to Mr. Richard Leddel, who not only has attended probably every show here, he's also a board member and the secretary of the board. Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Thank you for having me. As our lovely hosts told you all, my name is Richard Leddel, and I'm a member of the board of directors of Theater Palisades, and they've asked me to speak a little bit about Theater Palisades in general. I'd like to begin by correcting a misapprehension that some people in this city have, that being that we are at the edge of the world. We are not at the edge of the world at all. I promise you, if you come and visit us, you will not fall off the edge of the world. However...
Thanks for putting that rumor to rest.
Good. However, if you... come to the end of the Santa Monica Freeway at the McClure Tunnel and decide, of course, to drive onto the Santa Monica Pier and fall off the edge, why, then all bets are off. But aside from that, if you remember to stay on Pacific Coast Highway, you only have to drive 3 miles up Pacific Coast Highway, just a little bit past Santa Monica, 3 miles to Temescal Canyon Boulevard, turn right, and we're at 941, 1 mile up from Pacific Coast Highway, just south of Sunset Boulevard, across from Palisades High School. It's really easy to find.
Richard is referring to the misconception that Theater Palisades is far away from Los Angeles, and it's actually right near Santa Monica, so it's a pretty close trek from anywhere in the Los Angeles area.
And here you will find the Pulitzer Prize winning show, Rabbit Hole. It's, as they say on the board, it's a story of survival and hope, and this is the opening night. It's running through...
It's running through October 2nd. So, Richard, tell us a little bit more about Theater Palisades for people who might not know anything about it.
Well, Rabbit Hole is one of 5 offerings we have this year. We produce 5 plays every year, 1 musical and 4 other plays, generally from an eclectic mix of dramas, comedies, surefire hits, old favorites, mysteries, and occasionally something that you don't quite expect in order to stretch your theater-going muscles a little bit. We sometimes come up with a surprise that's always worth the trouble.
Excellent.
How long have you been with the theater?
I've been here about 12 years on and off. I think I finally counted up the shows I've been in. It averages about one a year, but I wear several different hats. I'm on the board of directors. I sometimes build strange props like dummies that need to be dropped to make loud noises, and platforms that have to be height adjustable to people varying from 5'3" to 6'1", things like that.
Apparently Richard solves the problems for the producers, so he is the man of the theater, Richard Leddel. And that's good because he's got a lot of heart and soul invested into it, and I know that it's in good hands in that case, correct?
Well, we have several folks who are really, really good at solving problems, and I'm just one of them.
And Rich, you've been involved with the theater for a pretty long time, and you've been on kind of a streak lately. You've been doing a lot of shows in a row recently. How many shows in a row is this? Before Rabbit Hole, you're not in Rabbit Hole, but how many shows?
Yes, it was very strange. I was in the last 3 shows in a row, on almost non-stop adventure from the middle of December straight through the middle of July.
So what's the difference with this one? What makes this one special?
Rabbit Hole?
Yes.
Well, of course, the obvious answer is that I'm not in it. But, of course, that's not true at all. Rabbit Hole is a very special play about people coming to terms with some very important emotions in their lives that all of us have to deal with at one time or another. And knowing the deft touch of Tony Torrisi, its director, the idea that it is a story of survival and hope will ring true loud and clear.
We are really looking forward to seeing it. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yes, by David Lindsay Abaire.
Excellent. Anything else you want to tell us about Theater Palisades while you're here? We got a couple minutes.
A couple of things. We have free parking and a lovely air-conditioned theater, and we invite you to join us. There's, as you know, a tremendous wealth of live theater in Los Angeles. Theater Palisades is very much a part of that wealth, and we invite you to share it with us.
And we actually always welcome new members at Theater Palisades. For information on that, you can visit us at theaterpalisades.com or give us a call at 1-310-454-1970. Right, Richard?
That is correct.
What other shows are coming out? Is this the end of the season? Tell us more about the season at the Palisades.
The season that we're in now?
Correct.
Our musical this year was the wonderful Stephen Sondheim, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which was I'm glad to say, a tremendous success.
Which we did a live broadcast for opening night for that one, too.
So you did. And before that, Neil Simon's hilarious farce, Rumors, the story of 4 couples arriving to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the deputy mayor of New York, only to find that the deputy mayor has shot himself in the ear and his wife has disappeared, and so are the servants, and each of them tells the next group of people a story which they invent out of whole cloth until nobody has the slightest idea what's going on.
That was a hilarious show, and I'm not just saying that because I was one of the producers. That was a hilarious show. And that was our first live broadcast, I believe, right, Neti?
It was great. And we are big, huge supporters of the Palisades Theaters and are so happy that they support us and allowing us to come here and help open up the show.
Theater Palisades. For information, visit theaterpalisades.com. And thanks so much for joining us, Richard.
My pleasure.
We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Ned on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That's Neti Lydon.
And that's Brett Chapin.
We are here at the opening night of Rabbit Hole at Theater Palisades in Pacific Palisades, California. And we are talking to somebody who we got to talk with recently at a recent live broadcast, Martha Hunter. who we talked to at opening night of Forum, and we're also talking to Sherman Wayne. They are the two producers of Rabbit Hole, running August 26th through October 2nd. For information, visit theaterpalisades.com. And thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
You got to make sure you talk directly into the mic.
Okay.
So, guys, you're producing Rabbit Hole. What drew you to this particular piece?
Well, it's a beautiful play. It's beautifully written. David Lindsay Abair won the Pulitzer Prize. It's probably already been mentioned.
Except I keep saying Pulitzer. Is it Pulitzer?
It's Pulitzer.
Pulitzer. Who knows? Sorry, go on.
I always have said Pulitzer, but it might be pronounced Pulitzer. But he did win for Rabbit Hole.
Yes.
And
for drama.
For drama. And I actually had read Rabbit Hole. I never have seen it performed until now. A few years ago, and when I was in my acting class, and I did the scene. I played the mother of the young woman, the mother of the young mother, the grandmother, and did the scene quite a few times, and it was so touching and so heart-wrenching and so it tells of the human story of suffering but surviving and coping and leaning on people and also struggling on your own and finding it so difficult to relate sometimes. But in the end, we all know this story somehow. It doesn't have to be the death of a child. It can be the death of a parent or a grandparent, and also just heartbreak or a death of a life that you once had. You can relate to it in all different aspects, and it's as I said before, it's so beautifully written. It's just like poetry. He really catches the human spirit and what people go through with just life's struggles. It's somewhat of a simple story, and it's just a simple family who's in crisis in a way.
No, we can't wait to see it. I got the opportunity to see the first act, and I purposely didn't see the second act because I want to be surprised tonight. How about you, Sherman? What was it that drew you to this particular piece, and why did you want to do it at Theater Palisades?
Well, it's quite different for us. We do a lot of comedies and musicals, and when the committee suggested Rabbit Hole, that's kind of heavy and so forth. But when you read it, it isn't. It is about hope. It is about surviving. It is about family and support. And I've lost a wife recently, and several things in the play really speak to me. But it also talks about life goes on, and in the play, and I have to go on. And so it's not the downer we thought it might be. It's really an upper, because you've got to face reality. You just got to. And so Tony Torrisi has done an outstanding job on directing this play. I'm very pleased as producer that Tony came aboard. He has done 2 other shows for us here, and this is his 3rd, and outstanding work. He's a good actor-director. Being an actor himself, he can relate, and he can help actors to come up with just the right feeling and interpretation of lines. So he's done an outstanding job, and I'm hoping that all the listeners will have a chance to come and see this incredible play that's so well done by a very professional cast. They have worked their what's off. Amazing. I've never seen a group quite so dedicated, we're going to make this work, period. And they have made it work.
I've always said that about Theater Palisades. I've seen some things on that stage that rival anything that at some of the larger theaters in Los Angeles. It's definitely, you see real professional work here.
I agree.
And how did you both become involved in Theater Palisades? What brought you to the theater, and what have you gotten out of it?
Well, actually, I used to live in the Palisades, a couple blocks away, and I've always wanted to audition here. And years ago, actually 1991, I brought my daughter's Girl Scout troop here for their drama badge. And if we were living in Malibu at the time, and we saw The Boyfriend, which I happened to be in when I was my daughter's age, or a little older, in another theater, actually in Brentwood. But so I knew about Theater Palisades, and I always wanted to act here, and I auditioned for Sherman for.
And I saw you rolling around on the stage in Rumors. You were hilarious.
Yes, well, thank you, and that was the last show I was in.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, guys. That's Martha Hunter and Sherman Wayne, the producers of Rabbit Hole.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Come see it.
Information on Rabbit Hole, visit theaterpalisades.com. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Net on CRN Digital Talk. At Theater Palisades in Pacific Palisades, California. For information on Rabbit Hole, visit theaterpalisades.com.
It's running. Sorry?
No, go ahead. I was going to say when it's running.
Oh, yeah, it's running August 26th through October 2nd this year. It's a story about survival and hope, and I have a feeling it's a lot about a story about spirit, human spirit, and I think that's very important, especially in our times and in current times, current situations, and like Richard said, they're not on the edge of the earth. 3 miles away from Santa Monica.
Yes, we are pretty darn close. It's an interesting too what Sherman was saying about how this is something different for Theater Palisades. They do a lot of comedies and a lot of musicals, but this is a very well written drama, which is something a little different, and I think it's something that audiences are really going to take to.
I do too. It's already won dramatic awards, and so has the director. And the cast, they're all professional and amazing, and I can't say any more about it. Let's just watch it. I'm ready to go in.
I'm ready to go in and watch a show. We're going to watch the show, and then we're going to get up in the afternoon tomorrow for our regular broadcast of La La Land.
That's right. We are on in the CRN studios tomorrow at 3 p.m. We also air at, 10 a.m. on Sunday?
That's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And we have a 10 a.m. broadcast on Sunday Pacific time. And then we just got a new broadcast at 11 p.m. on Saturday night.
Oh, my goodness.
That is Pacific time.
Cozy up with us.
I know, guys. You got three chances over the weekend to listen to us, and I'm really excited about our guests tomorrow. We're not only going to be talking to Runaway Dorothy, who are amazing musicians, but we're also going to be talking to Ray Holdridge, who is performing in the last days of Judas Iscariot right now.
Ah, wonderful. That will be very, very interesting, I'm sure. Runaway Dorothy, they seem to be pretty popular these days. They're a band.
They are. I am not normally a huge fan of country music, but they are a pretty darn good country band. One of the few that I've heard that I really like. So I am excited to talk to them tomorrow.
I think that we may have to play a little bit of a sample so y'all can listen for yourselves to see, if you like it or if you don't. But anyway, they'll probably have something to say, huh?
Oh yeah, they will. We'll be playing their music as well. So we got to let people know what they sound like.
That's right.
And then the week after that, I am particularly excited because we are going to be talking to Tony Award-winning actress Daisy Egan, as well as Ovation Award-winning director Nick DeGruccio.
Oh man, that's going to be fun.
And the Sunday after that, which is September 10th, we're going to be talking to the great Steve Julian.
Very, very, very cool. All of these are pretty major artists and players in Los Angeles, and they have a lot to say. Artists all over, people all over have a lot to say. But we like to specify in the creative types in Los Angeles and what's going on, because there's a lot. there's a lot going on here in Los Angeles, and there's a lot of artists that have a lot of really valuable things to say and reasons why they're doing it, and that's why I'm part of this. I know.
Absolutely. And we are here at every opening night. Again, for information on Theater Palisades, visit theaterpalisades.com. We're here for every opening night of their shows. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk and twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. And we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
That's right. See you at the top.
La La Land with Brett and Net and
On
CRN
Digital Talk.